The boy on the beach. Okay, pause. I missed you guys so fucking much. I didn't make videos all week because I was sick, and you can still tell my voice is not 100% back, but the way I felt like something was missing from my life, the bags under my eyes are all so fucking insane, so please don't comment on them. At least the bags under my eyes are not as scary as the story I'm about to tell you. If you love long walks at the beach at night, you might want to skip this video. So this took place in the Playas of Manzanillo, which is in Mexico, aka Manzanillo Beach for my non-Spanish speakers. So this girl says that a few years back, her and her friends decided to take a vacation to the Playas of Manzanillo. When they arrived, they went to the hotel. It was so pretty, but this happened to her at nighttime. So this girl says that they were out and about all day, and around 2:30 in the morning, her and her bestie decided to take a walk on the beach. She said that they decided they wanted to see the sunrise, so they just kept walking on the edge of the beach to kill time. They walked so much that they ended up leaving a lot of hotels behind them, and they got to a point where there was only large rocks on the side. She said it was at that point where her friend stopped dead in her tracks and asked her if she sees what's in front of her. She admits that it was kind of hard to see anything because it was so dark and the only light source that they had was the moon. But when she did focus, she says that she could see a little boy with his back turning towards them. She could see the boy moving and it looked like he was playing with the sand. She admits that they were a little concerned because they're like, what if this kid left his family asleep and he's over here playing with the sand? So from where they were, they started calling out to the little boy. However, he never turned around, he never looked towards them, he just kept playing with the sand. She says that after the boy never turned to look at them or never responded, she admits that for some reason she started to feel really scared and her friend started to feel the same way. So when the kid never responded, they both looked at each other, they were kind of scared, and in that split second of them looking at each other and then turning back to look to see where the little boy was, he was standing right in front of them. They were both terrified because that little boy standing right in front of them was missing his eyes. Then they noticed how strange liquid started coming out of his mouth. She also noticed that his clothes was all ripped up, and the thing that got to them was that the little boy smiled at them and he had no teeth in his mouth. She says that she stayed in shock, but she could feel her friend trying to pull her from her arm to get away from there. She doesn't know how, but she was able to turn around and they both started running away from that little boy. After a while of them running, she said that they both decided to stop and look back just to make sure that little boy was not running after them. The little boy was not running after them, but they could still see him in that same spot where they had left him behind. After a few seconds, the little boy turned around and started walking into the beach. She said that they could still see him walking into the water until they lost vision of him in between waves. They never saw him again, but they were still terrified because they were still at the beach and for all they knew, he can come back out. She said her body had the craziest reaction because she couldn't stop shaking and her best friend couldn't stop crying. She admits that she's never gonna forget what she saw that day at the beach. She says the thing that keeps her up at night is thinking what happened to that little boy, or if that was even a little boy. After this, she started looking at the history of that beach and there was a lot of things that people have claimed to see there as well. There was also other situations where people almost drowned, but they claimed that they felt like they were being pulled by someone under the water. I have the biggest fear of the sea, and just this